Alright gang, here's a short video about written division. I'm not going to do any remainders here. There is actually a separate video about how what you can do with your remainders when you're dividing, if you have any. We're not going to have any today though. And I'll do one example at the end with where we divide by a double-digit number for those of you that are interested. So let's go with a couple of examples with single digits. Divisors, the number we're dividing by. Let's go with 7,110 divided by 3. Call it the bus stop method if you like, because you're going to draw a little bus stop there. There's the wall, and there's the roof. Bus stops only have one wall. That's why they call it a bus stop. I think really in this context, we write the number we're dividing inside the bus shelter or the bus stop, and the number we're going to divide by on the outside in front of it. Okay, and we say to ourselves, okay, how many times does 3 go into 7? And the answer is it goes in twice with the remainder of 1. The remainder that you have goes in front of the next digit to make 11. And then we say to ourselves, how many times does 3 go into 11? The answer there is 3 times with the remainder of 2. So we put the remainder in front of the next digit. We say, how many times does 3 go into 21? It goes in 7 times exactly, doesn't it? And how many times does 3 go into 0? The answer is 0 with no remainder. I promised you that there would be no remainders. And there we go, 2,370 is the answer. 7,110 divided by 3, 2,370. Okay, another one. 92,000. No, not 92,000. Let's progress a little bit. 22,332 divided by 4. Okay, this will introduce something at the beginning that we didn't have in the first example. Because we start with the first digit and say how many times does 4 go into 2, and the answer, of course, it doesn't go at all. So in actual fact, we might as well say how many times does 4 go into 22, because we haven't used any of this 2, so we're going to carry it straight across, aren't we? How many 4s go into 22? The answer is 5 4s go into 22, with the remainder of 2. Then we've got 23 divided by 4. Well, again, 5 4s are 20, so we've got a remainder of 3. How many 4s go into 33? Answer is 8, remainder 1, because 8 4s are 32. How many 4s go into 12? Answer exactly 3 with no remainder. I promised you there'd be no remainders. So there we go. How many 4s go into 22,332? 5,583 4s go into 22,332. What a lot of big numbers. Isn't this fun? We'll do one more before the double digit one, shall we? Or should we go straight to double digits? Let's do that, because that's all there is to it, by the way. That's the method. You set your bus shelter up and just carry your remainders across. And dividing by a double digit is exactly the same. There is a longer method. As some people talk, you might have heard talk about long division. There is a longer way of setting this all out. Um, it doesn't involve actually doing anything more than what we're doing, which is seeing how many times the number we're dividing by goes into each part of the number, and then writing any remainder across in front of the next number. It's just a slightly longer-winded way of doing that. I'm not going to show it to you today because I don't think it's, to be honest, necessary these days. Let's do this one. 2,704 divided by 13. In other words, how many 13s go into 2,704? Well, you'll see, by the way, this is the method here is exactly the same as with a single digit. There's just one thing that can happen that doesn't happen with single digits, and I'll show you that in a moment. How many 13s go into 2? Well, none, because of course 2 is much smaller than 13. So let's just make it 27 and say how many 13s go into 27? Well, 2 13s are 26, so the answer is 2 with a remainder of 1. Now then, how many 13s go into 10? Quite right, no 13s go into 10, again, because 10 is less than 13. So the whole of that 10 carries across to the next number. And this is the only difference, the only thing you have to be aware of when you're dividing by a double-digit number like 13. Because you're dividing by 13, your remainders that you carry across to the next digit could be anything up to 12. So it's possible that you can get a 2-digit remainder. As long as you understand that and are comfortable with the idea of a 2-digit remainder, and can't think why you wouldn't be, and as long as you're able to carry that across to the next number, then you've really got no problems, because all I've done here is I've carried my 10 across to the next number to make a 3-digit number, 104. And so I need to say to myself, how many 13s go into 104? And as long as you're prepared to sit down and work it out and be careful about it, you'll find the answer to that. And the answer, I think, is 8, isn't it? I worked it out earlier. Let's double check it. How could I check how many 13s go into 104? Well, I suppose I could say that 10 times 13 is 130. And then I suppose I could take 13 away from that to make 9 13s, couldn't I? And that would be 117. I'd say 9 13s are 117. So if I take away another 13 from that, that will leave me with 401. There we go. 8 13s, it seems, are 104, which is exactly what I've got up there. So, how many 8 13s go into 104? 8 do. You might have had, by the way, another way of working that out. You might have decided to count up in 13s and go 13, 26, 39, and it goes on, 52. If you got to that point, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say you were counting up in 13, because that was the only way you could think of. I wonder if when you got to 52, I wonder if you might say to yourself, oh look, 52. Well, if I double 52, I get 104, which is the number I'm trying to make. So if 4 13s are 52, then I reckon 8 13s must be 104, because it's twice as many, isn't it? So there we go, that might have been another way of doing it. You've all got your own ways of counting up in 13s or working out how many 13s go in, and that's a matter entirely for you. But the basic principle of dividing by double digit is the same as the basic principle of dividing by a single digit. And it's what I've shown you on the board in that example and the two that come before it. I hope that really helps you.